Namaste, yogis. Welcome to your practice. I'm Julie. Today's class we dedicate to the simple act and art of holding space. So before we begin, I just want you to remember that just because it's simple, it doesn't mean it's easy. In fact, those things that are the most simple sometimes tend to confound us the most. What do I mean when I say or suggest holding space? I simply mean the act of slowing down, carving out this time to declutter, to come into a place of sensation, of feeling, of clarity, of stillness, without the need to fill it up. You know, we live in a culture today where everything is a quick fix, everything is immediate. And so the art of holding space is something that really can hold value in our lives. And so with that said, let's begin by just finding a comfortable seat, or you may choose to lie down. Let the eyes close. And just simply be with the breath. Don't manipulate. Not an ujjayi breath. But a simple and soft breath where you can experience the sensation of the inhale and experience the sensation of the exhale. And just take a few steady rounds of this breath to clear out space. It's normal for the mind to feel very unsettled as we come in to this time. And just be with that experience of being unsettled, if that's where you find yourself. Over time, as we practice the art of holding space, we begin to feel more comfortable. Let's take a couple of more breaths here. Yogis, open the eyes, inhale, and reach over the head. Give a nice full stretch, breathe, feel space between the ribs. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Again, whether you're lying down or seated, inhale, reach over the head, breathe, feel more space. Exhale, pull the hands to heart. And again, yogis, inhale, reach to the sky, stretch up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart and just set an intention to hold space today. Let's come into tabletop position. And now begin to find that ujjayi breath and take cat-cow. Breathe and look up. Exhale and round. Feel space in the breath, an unhurried breath. Exhale, round. Moving into our space requires us to move with careful consideration, to move with compassion, in and out of the experience of the poses, in and out of the experience of whatever begins to come up in our mind. And so invite a pause at the top of the breath as you breathe in. Invite a pause as you exhale. Couple more rounds of cat-cow. Meet in downward facing dog, yogis. Invite some movement to begin. pedaling and shifting in an organic way. This promotes space in the body, in the breath, and between the thoughts. Soften your knees, walk your feet to your hands. Lift halfway, gentle yogis. Exhale, fold. Again, gentle, lift halfway. And fold. Let's reach to the sky, yogis. Rise up, stretch up, lift up. And pull hands to heart. Inhale, reach high. Easy does it. Come down, forward fold. Lift halfway. Step back to downward facing dog. And again, take any movements you require. And so we're gentle with self in this process of exploring space and what that means for us. Patient and compassionate. Lift your heels high, yogis. Breathe in. Exhale, lower. Lift your heels and breathe. Soften and lower. One more time, heels high, follow the breath. Use your exhale to step to the top. And with ease, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Here we go. Rise up, stretch up, lift. Center it right back to heart. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, take your fold. Lift up halfway. Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. This time, lift your heels and breathe. Come into plank pose. Place your knees down, lower all the way to the earth. Bhujangasana, Cobra. In breath, lift. Exhale, you lower. So feel the space. And exhale, lower. One more time. Breathe in. Let's take a child's pose, press back. Let the knees widen, the hips draw back. Let the heart space melt in an act of surrender. Surrendering the thoughts. Surrendering the need to fill. Occupy this space. Swan pose, breathe, come forward, yogis. Exhale, draw back. Swan, come forward. And move back. One more time. Moving in with ease. Downward facing dog. Right leg to the sky, roll the hip open. Low lunge, step between the hands so softly. Keep your fingers down. Let the chest lift. Take half split. Draw the hips back. Straighten the right knee. Extend through the heel. So you'll notice that this yoga is a constant moving forward, moving back, expanding, retracting. We move in and out of the space. Just notice what comes up. Return to low lunge. Keep the back knee down. Reach to the sky. Clasp your opposite elbows. Press firm into the top of the left foot. Let's meet in forward fold. So gently deconstruct this. Bring your hands down, tuck your left toes and step in. Gentle, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Rise up, yogis. Fill up more, find more space. Exhale and let it go. Lift up halfway. Downward facing dog. Lift your heels as you breathe, fill up, take it in. And then you let it go, plank pose, come forward. Place your knees down, lower all the way to the earth. 3 times for Bhujangasana Cobra. High. Exhale, lower. Time, gaze over the right shoulder. And lower. 1. Feel the sweetness, yogis. Look to the left. Come back to your center, child's pose. Can you soften more? Swan pose, breathe, come forward. Move back, exhale. Flowing with the breath like water. To move in and out of space, it has to be fluid. You think of water in its fluid state. How it can go into every single nook and cranny, right? But if that water freezes and becomes ice, it's stagnant, it stays there. So be fluid in your movements, in your breath. One more time, come forward. Downward facing, go back. Left leg raises to the sky. Roll open. Step between the hands. Remember to keep your hands down. Untuck the right toes. And so that fluid water-like quality, allowing us to move into all the little spaces. Because if we are rigid, like that piece of ice, things need to be broken down a little bit, you know? It needs to change form, change shape, change texture in order to move. Take half split, Ardha Hanuman. And we all go through times, you know, where events, mindsets, experiences are changing in perspective to how we've related to them in the past. We go through times where things have to take on a different form. Be in that space. That means there's change happening, there's transition. And we open up to all the new and beautiful possibilities. Low lunge, rebend. Keep the right toes untucked. Circle the arms to the sky. Press the top of the right foot down and then clasp opposite elbows. Invite that left hip to draw back a little more and the right hip to scoop forward, gazing upward if it's okay on your neck. Uttanasana, forward, fold, unwind. Gently step in. Gentle, halfway lift. Nothing forced, yogis. Let it flow and go. Reach to the sky. Fill up. And then release. Inhale, reach to the sky, yogis. Exhale, forward fold. Lift up halfway, flatten the spine. Step back to downward facing dog. Come into plank pose, knees down or not. Take a slow flow. Chaturanga. Up dog, or find your cobra. Hips high. You're downward facing, your Adho Mukha. Home base, right leg high to the sky. Bend, stretch, roll, open. Stabilize through shoulders. Step between the hands, soft step, lower the back knee, stay here. Fingertips down, use your blocks if they're available. Let the chest lift up. Ground your left hand. Circle the right arm up for twist. Add a little more heat to this by tucking the left toes now and lifting the left knee. Prasarita Padottanasana. So sweep the right hand down, walk around to that left lengthy side of the mat. Lift up halfway, turn your big toes in. And fold, yogis, fold. More space, breathe and lift. Reach your left arm to the sky, invite the right hand under the heart. Stay grounded under the heart. Change sides, the left hand comes under the heart. Inhale high with the right. Lower the right hand down, runner's lunge, back into the right foot, top of the mat. Find your crescent. Take your time in the setup, there's absolutely no rush. Check in and soften the face. Forward fold Uttanasana, hands down. Step the left foot to meet the right. Lift up halfway. Fold in, yogis. Rise to stand. Take up space. And now exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, sweep to the sky. Let it go. It feels so good. Just to let it go. Lift up halfway, downward facing dog. Plank pose. Slow down your flow, chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing we go. Left leg high to the sky, rolling open. The left shoulder firm down. Step between the hands, yogis, easy does it. Back knee down, pause here. Lengthen. Don't be in a hurry to fill the space immediately. It's a little uncomfortable sometimes to have that clear and open space, that time of pause. But let it be, let it be. Setting up for our twist, right hand down, maybe use your block. Send your left arm high. Notice what happens if you press the top of the right foot down a little more. Okay, bring your left hand down. Tuck your back toes. Let's rise up into our crescent. Offset your feet so it's not as wobbly. Let go of the need to immediately fill up. Nice, yogis. Runner's lunge, walk around to the right side of the mat. Prasarita Padottanasana. Lift up halfway, bring your right hand under the heart, soar the left arm high. This time take a half bind. Wrap that left hand behind your back. Soften your knees, elevate the torso slightly. Bring your right hand to your heart. Maybe extend it forward. Bring the right hand down, release the left arm up. And the left hand comes under the heart. Invite the right arm to the sky. Take your half bind, come behind the back. Softening into the knees for support. We have to support ourselves in these efforts. Hand to heart, left hand. Let your hips continue to travel back. Reach your left arm forward, palm up, open to receive, yogis. We can't receive if we're in a fist. Open. All right, return to runner's lunge at the top of the mat, the left foot forward. Step to the top, Uttanasana, forward fold. Gentle lift halfway. And fold. Rise up and fill up. Take a little back bend. Exhale and fold. Halfway lift, yogis. Come into chair pose. Utkatasana chair. Sweep the arms back, lace your fingers together, left leg back for warrior three. So you stand on the right. Revolved half moon. Left hand down, take your block if it's close by. Right hand can begin at your hip. Maybe reach high. Bend your left knee, reach back to find ankle or foot. Keep the heart, the chest stretching forward. Return to chair pose, watch that rebound. Sweep the arms back, lace the fingers. Ground into the left foot and let the right leg invite it to go back. Vira 3, Virabhadrasana 3. Notice, is there still space in the breath? Right hand down, left hand to your hip. Parivrtta Ardha Chandrasana. So it's a slow and steady process, yogis. It's a mindful, conscious awareness. How can we tune out to tune in? Bend your right knee, catch your foot. If we're constantly filling up with stuff, you cannot tune in. I assure you, you can't. It's always going to be half. Chair pose, easy. Chair. To forward fold. Halfway lift, yogis. Take your final vinyasa here, or choose to leave it out. Meet in child's pose. In the beginning, there's a lot of effort in this act, this art of holding space. But as we become more comfortable, you'll notice longer periods of time where you're giving less effort to the thoughts and the details. And you're simply minding, filling up, occupying this space. Set up for Camel Pose. So walk your hands back. Come up onto the knees. You might want to start with the knees maybe 6 inches or so apart. Maybe tuck your toes behind you on this first effort. Hands to the low back, chin to chest. Let the hips just gently press forward. Okay, if this is enough sensation, feel free to stay. A few of you might wish to reach back toward your feet, one hand at a time. Tuck the chin to the chest. Return hands one at a time to the low back. Meet back in tabletop. Into child's pose. So part of this art, this act of holding space and then allowing yourself to come in it, is being vulnerable. So letting go of the familiar to step into the space of the unknown. Which is why we're almost required to be patient with ourselves in this process. Let's take another back bend. Knees about 6 inches apart. Maybe tuck your toes. I'm going to leave mine untucked this time. Same process, hands to low back. Begin to invite the hips forward, and if this is enough, you stay. Or if you'd like, one at a time. Those hands come back. Retract the upper arm bones, externally rotate. Return your hands to your low back, yogis, chin to chest. Gently rise up, ease up. Tabletop to child's pose. Have a seat, yogis. Draw the right knee to the chest. Sit up tall. Keep the eyes easy. Let's take Janu Shirsasana and let your right knee spill out to the right, like a seated tree. And then fold. The goal is not to reach the toes, but if you do, great. If you don't, great. Come up to a tall spine, yogis. Easy does it. Take a twist to the right. Let your left hand come to that right thigh, the right hand behind you. So we have these experiences that can make us rigid, make us like that ice. But be open to the possibility of just softening, allowing that hardened quality to just melt. Unwind, yogis. Let's take half Gomukhasana. Right knee stacks on top of the left and fold. And we soften, and like water, these experiences can begin to wash through us, to wash through all the space, and what needs to remain can remain. And what needs to be washed away can go. Come up to a tall spine, yogis. Extend your legs forward. Dandasana staff pose. Side two, draw the left knee in. Just sit up tall for a moment. Shanu Shirsasana, left knee out to the left, like that tree. And then fold, yogis. It's not rigid. You can move a little right or left. Maybe scoot your hips back more. It's a travesty to go through experiences in our life with a sense of rigidity. It keeps us stagnant. We cannot come into our new space if we're rigid, because we're held tightly, we're frozen. And so I urge you to explore the possibilities of just letting go and seeing what this space offers you. Come up to a tall spine, breathe. Take your twist. And as we soften into these new spaces, we often feel a variety of things, the full range of emotions, yeah. But that's the reminder that we're human. We're created to feel. Unwind, Ardha Gomukhasana, left knee over the right. And then fold. Up. Legs forward, Dandasana staff pose. This time, yogis, reach over the head. Exhale, fold. Make way to lie down on your back or set up for a seated final meditation. The eyes closed. Return to your easy breath. Soften into this space of your body, of your breath, of your mind. Feel what you feel and allow it to move through you. Take 5 more breaths, all the way in and all the way out. And we'll reawaken into this new space by inhaling the arms over the head. Give a beautiful stretch, reach up, let the spine arch. Exhale and bring your hands over your heart. Just pause for a moment. Notice that precious space beneath your hands, the heart space. Hold that space, honor that space, and just breathe. As you're ready, yogis, we'll join into a comfortable seated position. Take your time. Bring the hands into Anjali Mudra, resting over the heart. Together, take a deep breath all the way in, fill up. And exhale, let it go. And one more time together, yogis. A deep breath all the way in, fill up. And exhale, let it go. Thank you for joining me today for this practice where we celebrate and create space. Namaste.